and today I'm going to start my 12 Days of Christmas videos. I'm hoping to do 12 videos between December 1st and January 5th, which is the 12th day of Christmas. And for this first video, I have the 12 children's books to get you in the spirit for Christmas. And they're in no particular order, really. I think they're all really good. And the first one is actually on the 12 Days of Christmas. It's a very nice big book with beautiful illustrations by Don Daly. And Pig in a Tutu. Some very elaborate illustrations and then very simple reading parts. So I think a child would really love that one. This one is on winter, and it's called Winter Waits. It's by Lynn Flord and illustrated by Greg Couch. And this is basically how winter is waiting for Father Time to come and play with him. And so some very beautiful celestial illustrations. And I've read that a couple times with the children I've worked with in the past, and they all really love that book. And it's part of like a 4-part series, which I have only 2 of the books right now. So I'm hoping to get the other 2 eventually. And this one is Eloise at Christmas Time by Kay Thompsons. And I really liked this book because there's the story, but then at the bottom there's like little singing parts of Eloise going through the hotel singing a little made-up song that she is singing as she goes around spreading Christmas cheer. And a very playful book. I think children would really love this one. This next one I found at a used bookstore, so it might be a little harder to find, but it was really a good storybook. And it was The Mysterious Toy Shop by Cyril W. Beaumont. And it's about a toy shop that magically appears. The toys are animatronic, but they don't necessarily need to be wound up. And eventually somebody is demanding a toy, and instead of giving the toy shop disappears, sadly. And I really like these illustrations because they have a lot of the reddish orange and green, and so it reminded me a lot of Goodnight Moon. So a very fun little storybook. This one is by Dr. Seuss, and that's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Grinch doesn't like Christmas, not one little bit, and so he tries to take Christmas from the Who's down in Whoville, and it's definitely a classic. This next one is what I bought new from Barnes & Noble, and it's based on one of my favorite ballets, The Nutcracker, illustrated by Valerie Docampo, and it's based on the New York City Ballet production of George Blanchard's The Nutcracker. So there's so much movement in this first illustration. Lots of dancing, beautiful illustrations. It has a very candy themed aspect to it. And so I really enjoyed finding that one. This one is a poem by Robert Frost, Stopping by a Woods on a Snowy Evening, illustrated by Susan Jeffers. And these pictures are all blacks and whites and grays, and so it really does give that cool Christmas feeling. And though this just illustrates a man in a sleigh, I always kind of imagined that this is about Santa Claus when I was reading it growing up. The next I have to mention because I live in Arizona, and that's the Polar Express. The train that goes to the Grand Canyon does the Polar Express every year. And I was thinking of doing it, but then 2020 happened, so I haven't done that. And I'm now debating whether I want to or not. But lots of big illustrations. I wasn't sure if I had read this book or if I had read a different book about a Christmas train. But I have read this one, and I might have read the other one too. I did a lot of reading as a child. And the next, I was kind of hoping to find a book about a cat on Christmas, and I thought, oh, well, nobody would have that. And then I found this one, The Christmas Day Kitten by James Harriet, illustrations by Ruth Brown. And this is about a cat who's like a stray who comes and visits a farmhouse regularly, and they let her in, and she goes and warms by the fire, but then she always leaves. And then one year at Christmas Day, she comes with her little kitten, and she, it does have a sad bit of the mama cat does pass away, but then the little kitten is just a perfect little kitten that they enjoy. This is a new one as well, and it's Santa Mouse by Michael Brown, illustrated by Elfrida DeWitt. And this is about a little mouse that lives in a big house. Uh-oh. I think there was a glitch. And he realizes one year that nobody ever gives Santa a gift. So he gives Santa a gift, and then Santa gives him his name. So very cute illustrations, easy to read. Definitely could become a very good Christmas tradition of reading that book. This next one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, also based on a song. This one is by Robert L. May and illustrated by Antonio Javier Capero. And this one was a little different than the song because Rudolph isn't acquainted with Santa before the story begins. And there's Rudolph guiding the sleigh. And so that's about accepting your differences and embracing them and finding that they are beneficial. And then this last book is the book I chose for the Children's Classic Book Club over on Goodreads. If you want to join that, please feel free to. And that's The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams. And this is illustrated by William Nicholson. And this is about a little stuffed bunny that goes into a nursery. And he learns a lot from a rocking horse. And he eventually gets visited by a fairy and some magical things happen. And it's just a beautiful story about how toys become real. And I highly recommend everyone read this. So those are 12 children's books for Christmas. Do you think I missed any, or would you add more to this? I think we could have easily done 24 children's books of Christmas. But until next time, I hope you have a lovely time reading and a magical Christmas time. Bye!